Mithrandil here at PAX West 2017. We are at the No Heroes Here booth. Who are we joined with today?
I'm Luis Sampaio. I'm one of the developers.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about No Heroes Here for people who might not be familiar with the game.
Okay, so No Heroes Here is a castle defense game where players literally needs to defend castles against waves of enemies. But to do so, they have to craft their ammunition. The idea is that the enemies died fighting the greatest evil, and only the common folk were left behind. So individually they can't fight, but as a team they can overcome all perils.
Awesome. So it definitely has some interesting mechanics when it comes to a tower defense style game.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your ideas behind making the ammunition and stocking the ammunition. Where did that come from? Why did you feel that would be an interesting mechanic?
Okay, so our main inspirations for this game are Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time and Overcooked. So when we were like brainstorming and trying to figure out like, oh, we want a co-op game, so what should we do? We were like, we love crafting things like recipes and trying to make for Overcooked, like trying to make food and trying to make the right food at the right time. But we also love killing enemies. So we're like, why instead of like cooking, we don't craft? And so like the idea came like right away from this, and since the beginning, like for our first prototype, like we knew it would be fun, like to have like different ammunitions and like gunpowder, cannonball, honey flask, and the players trying to figure out what they have to craft in order to defeat the enemies at the correct time. So the idea is to create roles inside the castle, like the guys from the artillery should pay attention on incoming enemies and which ammunition to use, and communicate with the guys from crafting, like what they should craft at that moment, and have like the courier, the guy that like brings bring the material to each other. So creating this environment like almost a production process.
Yeah, you're all like cogs in the machine, right?
Yeah.
You all like have your own role in the process.
Yeah, and you have to work together in order to this machine to work.
Awesome, very cool. What were some challenges that you had in developing No Heroes Here? Obviously, you just went into a bit of detail about the ammunition system and the different types and the different roles. What was the challenge in bringing those things together and maybe developing the game?
Well, the biggest challenge for us was because the game is one screen only. Like the screen doesn't change, levels change, but the screen is always static. So the hardest thing for us in the beginning, mostly, was how do we fit all those informations, like incoming enemies, giving time for the players to see the enemies coming and being able to fire them, different ammunitions, different storages, different workstations, factories. So for us, like the solution was, in the beginning we want to have like a lot of weapons, like cannons, trebuchet, ballistas, oils, and having this like more medieval war simulation. And then we realized, okay, we can't fit all of them. So what we realized was like, okay, we need a weapon, cannon. And what we would do is like, instead of like creating different weapons, we would create different ammunitions to use the cannon as a weapon. Because cannon would be the perfect weapon for us, because we won't give a lot of jobs. So whenever you fire a cannon, it becomes dirty. So it's not just the production you have to take care of. You have like, whenever you fire something, you need to remember to clean or tell your team to clean it. So I think this was one of our biggest challenge. It's like how we fit, and of course during the game, like how we can make in a low resolution pixel game, people understand what is an ore and what's the difference from the ore, from the gunpowder, and all these things. So
yeah, you see two gray and black piles in pixels. You want to be able to distinguish them, right?
Yeah, our solution for cannonball is like, in this world, cannonballs are purple.
Yeah, well, I see that. Yeah. So, what's been some of the reaction, the positive feedback that you've been getting from people who have had a chance to play the game so far?
Well, people are enjoying a lot the game. Like we've been doing a lot of play tests, like back in Brazil, and we realized like people like a lot the cooperation part of the game and not much the individual skills. So we've been focusing a lot on that, and it seems like when we see players, for example, here, in the first stage, the first try, they will try to do everything by themselves, and they will struggle a lot, and normally they will lose the first level. And once they get a little bit more familiar with the mechanics and they start to understand the crafting process, they start to cooperate. They say, oh, we need this cannonball, we need to put the cannonball in the right, top right cannon, and they seem to like a lot. So this really good feedback, like from people, is the amount of cooperation teamwork they have to make, and people miss a lot this type of games. So we've heard that a lot.
Awesome. So what's the timeline? So what phase are you in right now, and when are we expecting to see this game come out?
Okay, so the game is going to be out on Steam in October, early on October. We are still finishing the decision for the date, but you can expect like latest second week of October on Steam, and later on in January, not January, but in beginning of 2018 for PS4 and Switch. So basically, like, we are in the final stages of the development, and it's been pretty scary.
Developing it for Switch as well, you said?
Yeah, Switch and PS4. And
I can imagine Switch will be a very fun multiplayer experience.
yeah, we were really happy when we got the license. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat about the game. It looks amazing, and I hope you have a great rest of your con.
Thank you very much.
You bet.